Okay, guys, so basically what we're going to do the rest of the night is we got a movie from Redbox. It's Peach Dragon. And I grew up loving Peach Dragon. I know every single song from the original. I mean, I loved that movie growing up. I also remember one of my nephews loving that movie. Or not nephews, he's my second cousin, but I feel like he's my nephew because we're so close. But anyway, I remember him loving Peach Dragon when he was little. But Wayne here,
Never seen it.
he's never seen it.
Um, the that's the thing is there were a lot of movies that apparently I either have not seen or just flat out
We're
don't
talking
remember.
classics here. I mean, Peach Dragon is from like when your parents were growing up.
Have you seen Mr. Smith Goes to Washington?
Maybe.
Classic.
I think I've seen it.
Have you seen The Dictator
Maybe.
with Charlie Chaplin?
Probably, but I don't know anything that's going on
Classic.
during it. Okay, Peach Dragon is classic. Okay, what's another one that you've never seen that I yell at you about? Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory?
I've seen that.
You've seen the original one?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good then. But you've probably only seen that because it was Gene Wilder.
I mean, yeah.
Okay. What's another one? Oh, basically any Disney movie that is older than he has not seen. That's what I'm getting at. It's mostly Disney movies that he's not seen.
Some of them
The
even
classic
younger.
Disney movies.
Some of them even younger than me.
Like, I'm trying to think of some. Especially the live action stuff you haven't seen a lot of.
No, because when I think of Disney, I think of cartoons. The idea that Disney did live action doesn't really interest me. I'm sure it's good.
Oh, it's wonderful.
I'm just saying like I
Well,
associate animation.
what
It's like
about
having Pixar do a live action movie. I just would not be interested in it because I don't want Pixar to do that. I want Pixar to focus on what they do right.
Okay, but what about like Mary Poppins?
I've seen it.
Okay. What about Chi Chi Bang Bang?
No.
What about the original Flubber? It was called The Absent-Minded Professor.
No, I saw the one with Robin Williams. It was a flop.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, it was a decent movie.
I thought you meant that as a joke because it's Flubber.
No, I meant like they didn't make their money back from the movie.
No, well, I don't care about that. I care about decent movies, and I'm talking about The Absent-Minded Professor, which did not have Robin Williams in it. It had what's that guy that did all of those movies? Fred McMurray or Fred Murphy? Fred McMurray? Ed McMurray?
I don't know.
I'll have to look it up. But he also did The Ugly Dotson. Oh, have you ever seen Escape to Witch Mountain?
Maybe.
Those were really good. Anywho, we're going to watch Peach Dragon, the new one. And then whenever we're done watching it, I'm going to give you my take as somebody who loved the original. And he's going to give you his take on somebody who didn't even know that it used to be a movie. So, yeah.
Till later.
All right, guys. So we're back to give our opinions on Peach Dragon. I think I'm going to let Wayne go first since he's never seen the original and sort of put his input.
Don't bother. It's sad, and there is no happy ending.
Okay, first of all, you're not supposed to give any spoilers,
I didn't.
but you really wouldn't recommend it
Nope.
because it made you cry?
Nope.
Why wouldn't you recommend it?
Alright, so within the first 5 minutes, like basically the entire family's dead, and he finds a dragon. Dragon takes care of him for a hot minute. They start developing the forest, and you want them to be like, okay, just you know, kind of pull the John Wayne kind of thing where they just kind of ride off in the distance, you know, and it doesn't happen.
Okay. Well, coming from someone who's seen the first one, first of all, this one was not off. Like, I expected this to be very bad. I expected to not like it at all. But I really enjoyed it, but I enjoyed it for different reasons than why I loved the original one. I don't want to say the first one because they're really just like retellings. This one is, I don't want to say I mean, it's definitely more modern than the last one, but it's not exactly clear as to when it is either. Like, it seems vaguely like it could have happened in the 60s or 70s. But they don't really make anything like definite as far as a time frame. Um,
Considering the vehicles, it wasn't the 60s.
Probably the
Can
70s.
Considering the record player and things, I'd say it happened in the 80s.
The 80s?
Because,
I don't know.
well, there's no cell phones, and they still have the house phones, they still
Yeah.
have the office phones and things like that.
Hmm.
CDs weren't really around yet. I mean,
But
especially,
tapes were, though.
yeah, but I mean, they played a record at the house, not a tape. I mean, if you
I mean,
have a record player, you might as well use the record
I get what
player.
you're saying. I still think that it's probably 70s. Just based on, like, how people were dressed and all that kind of stuff, too.
The vehicles is what I'm going off of.
The vehicles were trucks and stuff. It could
I
have been the
know.
70s.
They had different styles then.
I don't know. Anywho, um, so things that were similar. I felt like I was really worried that I wouldn't like Elliot in this new movie because in the previews he seemed very scary and more mean than in the original. I mean, the original he was a cartoon and everything else was live action. So obviously he did not seem threatening or anything like that in the original one. Now, in this one, though, they kept his sort of childlike mannerisms. Like, they still made him act like Elliot acted in the original. So I liked that. Other than that, the stories were not entirely similar. I mean, you still have you still have the woman in the story that finds Elliot. But other than that, the stories really weren't all that similar. Also, the story as far as in the original, Elliot goes from one person to another, helping them until they no longer need help. And in the original one, Elliot and Pete had only been together for maybe a year at the most. Like, it was obvious they hadn't been together that long. But in this one, they had been together for a really long time. So they really had a much stronger connection. So I liked that about it, though. But as far as, like, comparisons, the first one was definitely, or the original one, was definitely more happy-go-lucky and more cheerful, and this one was definitely more like drama. It was more of a drama than the original one was. There were still funny parts that would make you giggle, but it was definitely more of a dramatic movie than the original one was. And I know Wayne says that he doesn't like it, but I don't think that he likes any movie that makes him cry. But to me, if it's a movie that can make you cry, then it's just a movie that's showing a different or tapping into a different type of element as opposed to like always just a comedy or whatever. So, even though you're saying you don't like it, I think deep down you do.
Okay.
Well, what I mean is, like, you don't like what happened in the story. You don't like what happened in the story. But it was still a good story. It was still worth being told.
Well, I mean, I think every story has its own merits and such. I mean, even the saddest stories deserve to be told. Otherwise, we wouldn't have most of, lit that we know and love today, especially from the 20th century. But my biggest problem with it is, like I said, I wanted them to escape civilization, and in this one, they very much.
Well, in the original one, they didn't. In the original one, if you didn't like the ending in this one, you would have hated the ending in the original one.
Well, I wanted them to go and continue life,
You wanted Elliot and Pete to be together forever.
Yeah, I mean,
The original one, you want me to tell you how it ends?
Not really.
Okay.
But like I said, you want the John Wayne ending where they go off in the sunset and they're never seen again, but you assume the absolute best. That kind of thing. And that's not what I got. So that's why I am a little disappointed. I'm not saying it wasn't a good story. I'm just saying that in this case I didn't get what I wanted. So that's why I say that it was. Plus, I mean, I guess I went into it expecting it to be a whole lot more happy. Because you made the original to be very happy.
Talking about all the songs and
yeah, I was thinking, I'm gonna have to deal with an hour and a half of a musical, and then I got within the first 5 minutes, 2 fatalities and all this other mess. And I was just like, now all of a sudden I realized this is not what I signed up for.
Right.
So once again, that's why I'm just like, don't bother, because you need to know what you're getting yourself into. This is a sad movie that will make you feel emotions that you thought you forgotten existed. Whereas what I was expecting to get myself into is a, heartfelt, happy-go-lucky movie. Maybe with some funny in it, or maybe some, sad in it. But at the end of the day, that's not what I got.
No.
That's why I say that.
I will say, though, for me, the outcome, the ending, was the best possible outcome.
For that story, yes. I mean, it was the best outcome considering, but
you still wanted Pete and Elliot to ride off in the sunset together.
Yeah.
So if the movie was about, like, what was it, 5 minutes shorter, you would have been happy? Or 10 minutes shorter?
Something like that, yeah. I mean, honestly, I was like, all right,
You're like,
I'm ready for this thing to cut. Cut, go to credits,
done.
move on.
Yeah.
There's no point in keeping going. And it just kept going. And I was like,
Well, I'll say this, though, too. Like I said, I expected it to be really awful because most of the remakes lately have been. So I was really pleasantly surprised that I still enjoyed it, even though, like I said before, I enjoyed it in a completely different way than I enjoyed the first one. This one I don't think kids would be into as much. Like I was saying before, my little cousin, he loved the original one. But I don't see him at the age that he loved the old one being into this one. Again, just because this is more of a drama and the other was more of a comedy. Anyway, I think it's like almost 1 again. We're up late again. So I think that we're going to go ahead and cut it there, and we will talk to you guys later, okay? Bye.
take care.